Something I've seen in my own life and the lives of my neurodivergent clients is a form of OCD that doesn't meet the clinical criteria, but it exhibits the obsession component of OCD, not necessarily the compulsion component. And this is a byproduct of the autistic and ADHD tendency to engage in perseverative thinking. There are three forms of perseverative thinking. There's worrying about the future, ruminating about the past, and obsessing. And often all three are occurring at once, which can lead to high levels of distress. The brain worries at a thought process like a dog on a bone, regardless of what you want, and you are just pulled along behind, forced to continue experiencing these looping thoughts. Now, like I said, it doesn't necessarily lead to compulsions. However, these obsessive thought processes continue on loop, and they inevitably shape our behavior. If we're constantly worrying about the future and we're ruminating with the shame that we've experienced in the past and we're obsessing about these possibilities happening again, we're likely to engage in some form of avoidance. If you anticipate negative social interactions happening, rejection resulting, or you saying or doing something that could lead to negative consequences or unpredictable circumstances in life, possibly leading to a disastrous outcome, you are probably going to modify your behavior and engage in some form of avoidance. And a lot of my life, I realized I was engaging in some form of avoidance to protect myself because it felt like this perseverative thought process was safeguarding me and protecting me against harm. Now, it might not lead to that kind of behavior, and it might crop up in everyday behaviors that aren't that life constricting. One of them I find is that my brain will pick out a certain term. Maybe it's a new term I just heard for the first time. It might be a line or a sentence from a movie. It might be something that has an OCD-like quality, like contamination themes to it, something that's a dirty word. And my brain will just loop it and play it back and play it back. And it'll continue cropping up into my conscience, even as I'm trying to do other stuff with my day. And I'm like, oh, can you just stop? I need to get on with my life, and I don't need to have these thoughts looping. And then another form of it that often happens for me is a song lyric. It might be the chorus, it might be a verse, some particularly hooky, catchy part of the song will just play on repeat. And I'll sometimes wake up with it playing, and it'll continue for a day or maybe 2 days. And I'm thinking, okay, like, I don't want this song in my head anymore. And I'll often go listen to the song to try to just get it out of my head. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it'll just pick out a different part of the song and then loop that part for a while. And so when there's a really catchy earworm song, I might want to not listen to it at all, because if I do, I know it's going to get hooked in my head and then it will loop endlessly. Do you experience any of these kind of OCD type thoughts, the obsessions without the compulsions? Do you get words or phrases or music lyrics looping in your head, or does it manifest in a different way for you? I would love to hear from you.